Hello and welcome. Thank you for attending. I'm so thrilled you're here. I'm thrilled to be offering my 5 steps to doubling your money in your business weekly class. This is today's intro. I'm Lee Munch and let's just get started. Just want to give you a little bit about our agenda. Start with our housekeeping. I'll tell you a little bit about me and who I am and why I'm doing this. How the class is going to work going forward. Transforming your business is where the 5 steps to doubling your money comes from my 5 steps to transforming your business. It's just a subset of that, and so I'm going to go through that with you so you can understand the whole basis for this. Then we're going to wrap up, get what your learning is, kind of tell you how the class is going to proceed from there. And then we're going to see what's next for you. And then, because I'm so glad you're here, I'm appreciative that you're here, I'm going to have some gifts for you, and there'll be some opportunities up and coming. Not right now, just right now. I'm just really thrilled you're here, and I'm so happy to be doing this. Please turn your cell phones off. Because we don't want you to be distracted. Another thing is, like, I know you're doing this on your browser, so if you could please turn off any of the other browsers so they don't get in the way. So I just want you to be here and be present. Close down any other windows. This is going to allow you to focus. Secondly, get your pen and paper out because you're going to be getting lots of really, really good stuff, and I want you to take note. You'll be walking away with things that you can literally implement in your business today. Thirdly, next thing is be open. What I mean by that is oftentimes when I'm talking with business owners, gosh, we're so busy and we're doing things and we feel like we're trying so hard and we're working so hard, but we don't really get anywhere or get any results. And you know, a lot of times I'll suggest something to someone, or I'll talk about something like, oh, that doesn't work in my industry. Oh, that doesn't work in my business. Been there, done that. You can hear the things that are coming out of their mouths, I'm sure. So the thing is that what I'm going to ask you to do, instead of saying, I call that the I know syndrome. It's like, I know this won't work for me for whatever reason. I know it won't work for me. Another thing that goes along with that is what I call the yeah, but syndrome. It's like, yeah, but that won't work for me. Both of those things are the same thing. And what happens when you say that, you shut down. So you aren't open. You cannot hear anything that's going after that. So what I'm going to ask you to do is to hold your I knows and get rid of your yeah buts. Actually, when I'm doing I'm doing a planning day, or when I'm in a live event, when anybody says yeah but, we make them put money in the jar and then I give it to charity. So if you say yeah but, I'm going to be the honor system here and take $1, take $5, whatever you want, and then do something nice for charity with that. That would be great. So instead of doing that way, just think of saying that, say, well, how can this work for me? How can this work in my business? Because that opens you up to possibilities. Yeah, but I know shuts you down, and turning it into a question how it can work for you, how it may work for you, or what's different about the way I'm explaining it. Any of those things. Think about that, because that will be very helpful going forward. Another thing is I want to set the attention here. We all need to know what we want to get from this. What I want to get from this is that I want to further my mission. My mission is to positively and profitably impact 13,800 small businesses by December 31st, 2017. May 31st, the number was 6,257. I think I don't have it right here in front of me. And so I have a lot more businesses that I want to help. The small business owner is the one who's really impacted by everything. We pay, at least here in the States, we pay the most taxes, and we're squeezed from all sides. And oftentimes we're so overwhelmed and so busy doing the business of the business, we don't even have anywhere to look or even know what's out there or know that there is something out there. So any way I can help the small business community do better in their business, because they are the backbone. They're clearly the backbone of the U.S. economy. Not that you know it, but I think that 80% of all businesses in the U.S. have less than 20 employees. That's tiny. And my guess is, from what I know, it's pretty much the same around the globe. So we matter, and we need the help, and I'm here to do that in any way, shape I can. So what do you want to get from this? What do you want to get from today? And if you're so inclined to come back and start taking the free course, the free class with me, that'd be awesome. But what do you want to get out of today? Why don't you go ahead and put that right in the chat box. Let's see what we have here. I make no money, so I'd love to double my money. Very good. I think I'm doing okay, but I'm not doubling my money every year. Okay. New ideas. Wonderful. Very frustrated where I am in my business and need to do something different. Great. Awesome. Wonderful. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. So here's a little bit about me. My name is Lee Munch. My company is Monarch 13. I have been a business coach for the past 9 years. The last 2 years, I've started my own company called Monarch 13. My first job was a currency trader, and as such, everything was, you know, it was about building relationships and running a business. And I got to use the phone a lot, and I got to learn a lot about that. And I've always been, and then I was, actually from being a currency trader, I then went to a global product manager. So pretty much everything I've done is about managing a little business of my own and making money, and for my organization, clearly. And that really gave me some really good skills. And mostly, I've been training people and onboarding people the whole time. I've always been the one, when as a global product manager, it was my job to bring a product out to every branch around the world. And the way I did that was through training and teaching and guiding. So I am a born teacher. I come from a family of teachers, and now I'm teaching with a purpose, because I think we all need help. I'm continually learn, and earn comes before learn only in the dictionary. So I started as a currency trader, wound up being a very senior management, global product management at Citibank, and then I left, and I've been doing this for 9 years. A little bit more about me. Sorry. This is my family. I live in New York on the North Shore of Long Island. Today's July 1st, and I can tell you, if you're in the U.S. and you were watching the Mets game on Sunday, Steve Matz, who made his debut, his historical debut, is from our hometown and actually went to high school with my daughter, my older daughter, Amy. She's the one on the right. That's me on the left. Veronica is in front, and my husband, who you can barely see, Joe, he's in the back. And those are our 2 dogs, and that picture's taken steps from our home. So let's get to this. So the Small Business Owners Weekly W Money class is going to be every Wednesday at 3 p.m. and it's only going to be about 30 minutes long. I want to give you jam-packed content and information, but I don't want to take up a lot of your time. So we can do that, and I can do that, and you can get that. So it's not going to be a lot of your time. And every single week, what we're going to be do is we're going to focus on different areas of the business and different topics. It will take us about 6 months, really, to go through the 5 steps, because the first month is kind of getting ourselves together here, right? And I will take you through everything and anything, and if you stay with us, you'll be able to use that as part in your business and start doubling your money. And again, the doubling your money is just one part of my whole 5-step process that I use to transform a business. But there's so much in just that one piece that, and this seems to be whenever I'm constantly interviewing my clients, former clients, small business owners. Every week I talking to them. I give what I call a 15-minute laser session, a number of them, and the purpose of which is just to really understand what's going on with them and help them. And more all the time I'm getting is like they want to double their sales, and they just need more money. They just need more money and more time. So that being so prevalent, I'm using my results-driven, proven system to teach that to all of you, to teach it to everyone, because everyone should know this. And again, then we'll be doing, and at the end of every class, we'll be doing a wrap-up, and then what's be coming up in the upcoming weeks. Oops. And what's next for you. So here's my blueprint for 5 steps to doubling your money. I'm going to walk you through that just very quickly, right, so that you get an idea of what it's like. But we're going to be focusing, as I said, on the 5 ways. We're spending most of our time there. All right. This download is available for free for you to. This blueprint's available for you to download, and I'll be putting up that link so that you can get that. So let's walk you through the 5 stages. First one is foundation. You know, it's when you're building a house. You don't start putting up walls and putting the pictures when you're thinking about building a house. After you create the blueprint, the first thing you do is lay the foundation. Well, like in your small business, it's the same thing. You got to lay down the foundation. Foundation starts with mindset. I will probably start every class with a little mindset check, because mindset's everything. If you think you can or you think you can't, either way you're right, right? So the first thing is mindset, having the mindset to go through and do what it takes to get you where you want to go. The next thing is, what is your vision and what is your mission? I already told you my mission, 13,800 small businesses by December 31st, 2017. So what's your vision? This is kind of your why. Why did you go into the business? What prompted you to start the business? What is your world peace vision? My world peace vision for my business is all small businesses being prosperous and profitable and growing and continuing to employ the masses of our world. So what is your world peace? And then again, your mission is kind of how you're going to achieve that. So, and then it's, what is your value proposition? What do you bring to the table? What does your company offer? I mean, you have a product. I'm sure it's a very product or service, and I'm sure it's very, very, very good. I'm sure it's got a lot of value and does a lot of things for a lot of people, but you need to know what is the real value you bring to people with your specific product or service. Now, your product or service is, what is it, and how do you get it out to the masses, and how do you help people, and how do you get it to them, or how are you going to get it to you, and how are you going to deliver it to them, and how are you going to market it? All these things, that is your product. Next, we come to structure. Now we're putting the walls on our house. We got the foundation laid. Now we're putting the walls on the house. First of all, you need a plan. As they say, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. We just wrapped up our third quarter planning with all my clients. We did four short video web trainings, and now we're putting it together. You need to have a plan. It doesn't. I mean, the more detail you can put, the better it is. If you, many people have plans, but they're in their head. So my wish for you is to not have it in your head, but put it on paper and put structure around the actual plan as well, so that we know we're executing what, when, and why, how, and all that. So what is the plan? Then the people. So what do we need about the people? Well, again, your customers, your target market, your data. So your database, if you're doing online things, your database, your staff, the team that you have working for you, your strategic partners, any venture partners, even your vendors. All these people are part of your people. So really understanding your people and putting some structure around that. Next is, very important, your sales process. I will tell you, we will spend a full month on sales process when we get to that point. But a full month, because your sales process is everything. Everyone has a sales process, but we don't often think about what it really is. We don't have it written down. We just kind of go through the motions. And I think that's what a lot of this is we don't want, you can run your business going through emotions, going through the motions and seeing what happens, shooting from the hip, as I call it. 80% of all business owners do. And it works, and believe me, there's a lot of businesses that get very, very far just doing that. But you can get further faster when you have a structure around it, when you know what you're doing, why you're doing it, and you can anticipate what's happening. So the purpose of structure is allowing you to grow your business consistently and in every economy. So sales process will be a place where we're absolutely spending a lot of time. Numbers. Well, I know a lot of people don't like to think about your numbers. A lot of people think that I become too corporate when I talk about your numbers, and they shy away from them. They're afraid of them. They don't like math. I mean, I'm sure some of you out there are already coming up with, they're like, ew, numbers. I don't like to think about numbers. That's what my bookkeeper's for. That's what I have an accountant for. Well, the truth is, you can't grow your business if you don't know your numbers. I mean, you can grow it, but you can't grow it consistently and profitably if you don't know your numbers. So really, the crux of what we're going through in this, believe it or not, in this weekly class is going to be focusing on numbers, but not numbers. So don't get scared. Don't run away yet. Bear with me here. And understanding, because that which you can measure, you can that which you can measure, you can track. That which you can track, you can improve. And although it's difficult in the beginning, so we don't start tracking and doing everything all at once, of course, but once you begin to understand why, and you will get a really good reason as to why in just a moment, then you'll see the importance of understanding and knowing and tracking them. And then your skills. What are the skills you need? I spend thousands of dollars a year on my own self-development, whether it's business courses, usually business courses at this point, but also some personal growth stuff too, because I have to keep ahead of my clients, right? So what are the skills that you need to improve or hone? It's always good, and congratulations coming here and sitting through here and joining our weekly class. That is an awesome way to improve your skills in your business. And then finally we get to the strategy and what strategy we're going to use, why we're using the strategy, how we're going to execute the strategy, all those fun things. So that's all structure. So you can see the crux of really getting your business consistent and growing is with the structure piece. So on that note, what I want to do is on your numbers to help you understand, and this is really where we're going to spend the whole class is going to be working through these in all the different areas of our 5 ways. So people want more customers, they want more revenue, and ultimately they want to keep more money, right? But the truth is customers are nothing more than the result of what goes into them, and that would be your number of leads times your conversion rate. So the number of people that you bring in as a lead and how many of them you turn into a client or a customer. So if you have 10 leads and 4 of them become your client, then you have a conversion rate of 40%. I'm sure that makes sense. So that's where your customers come from. Now your revenue also is a result. That comes from how many customers you have times how many times they buy from you. Again, every industry is different. I would not use, you have a deli, which could be 3 times a day versus a mortgage broker, which on average is about 7 every 5 to 7 years. But there's a number of transactions that is average for your industry and then within your business. And clearly, if you have any different products or services, that number can too, but there's still the number of transactions. So the customers, how many times they buy from you and how much they spend with you. Again, if you have a bunch of different products and services, they're going to be spending all different amounts with you. But there is a number. So your customers times the number of your transactions, times how many times they buy from you, times how much they spend with you, gives you your revenue, how much money you're bringing into the business, right? Now, your profit, how much you actually keep, is a result of how much you make times what goes out of the business or your profit margins, and that gives you your profit. So we're going to walk through an example here. So in this example, and this is on an annual basis. In this example, we get 4,000 leads per year. That could be a lot, it could be nothing, depending on what business you're in. But to break it down, if you take 4,000 and you divide it by 50 weeks a year, and then you divide that by 5 days a week, that number comes down to 16. So in this example, we're getting 16 leads per day. And our conversion rate is 25%. So 4,000 times 25% is 1,000. Now in this example, on average, these customers buy 2 times per year, like say a dentist. And the average dollar sale is $100. Still a dentist could be. Which leads 1,000 times 2 times 100 equals 200,000. Now in this example, we have a profit margin of 25%, so that gives us a profit of $50,000. That's what we actually keep at the end of the day. Profit margin also does include paying yourself in your salary. That goes into the profit margin. It's not what you take is what you wind up getting, but how much you are earning. You need to accommodate for that. Now, I know I might be losing you, like, yeah, and just get on. But so what I'm going to do right now and to kind of introduce you to the importance of this whole thing is the example I'm going to give is we're going to just do a 15% increase on each of these, what I call 5 ways: your number of leads, your conversion rate, number of transactions, average dollar sale, and profit margins. Just 15% increase, okay? So 15% on 4,000 is 4,600. So 4,000 times 0.15 is 600, so that gives you 4,600. 15% increase on your conversion rate is 28.75. Now, by the way, once you actually really start documenting and tracking your conversion rate, it will automatically go up. So 4,600 times a conversion rate of 28.75 That gives us 1,322 new customers. That's not a 15% increase, is it? It's not even a 30% increase. It's a 32.2% increase. So I think you can see where I'm going with this. All right, let us continue. So now we have our 1,322 customers who are now buying from us on average 2.3 times per year. Again, just 15%. This is not rocket science. And one thing I like to point out too is that if you're able to get 16 leads per day, a 15% increase on that is really just an extra 2 leads, How difficult is it really to go from 16 to 18? Not very difficult. And as you can see, to go from 25 to 28.75, this is not rocket science, folks. It's not rocket science. It's simple, but it's just not always easy. Okay, so 1,322 times 2.3 transactions per year times 115. Had a little fries with our Coke now. They're getting a little more. Now, if you multiply, I'm not going to do this. I'm going to let you all take a gander. If you're up for it, you can put it in the chat box, or you can do it on your own. But get a calculator and multiply 1,322 times 2.3 times 115. I got a number. I don't think that's right. But we'll see. Holy cow. Okay. Don't have a calculator. That's fine. No worries. Okay. So let's end the suspense. 1,322 times 2.3 times 115 equals $349,801. That is actually a 75% increase in your revenue. But this class is about doubling your money in your business. Yes, it is. So let us continue. We are increasing our profit margin again by 15%, and lo and behold, $100,568. You've doubled the profits in your business. So the reason why I call this class Double Your Money is because I started calling it Double Your Profits, and it really didn't get people excited because they keep telling me they want double the sales. Well, if your sales are not profitable, as you can see from this, you're just going to have more not profits. So in order to just get to the crux of it, which is you just want more money, right? At the end of the day, you need more money. You want more money in your business. That's the way we're doing it. So what I'm going to do next now is give you a real case study. This is one of my clients, and these are the results that she had literally in I would say about 4 months. 4 months, definitely less than 6 months. And again, you'll see where we go from this. All right, so in this case, we shed a number. Her leads actually decreased. You're like, oh no, don't decrease the leads. It's like, well, you know, how good are the leads you're getting? If your leads are not that good, then you're really spinning your wheels with a lot of them. So what we did is we put some strategies in place. We didn't, in the first 3 to 4 months, we don't mess around with the marketing that you're currently doing because there's many other things to deal with. But so in this case, what we did do was just make sure that the marketing that was going on was more effective and was working much more like a deselection process. So that's okay, because those 1,000 people we're not getting anymore over that course. Well, of course, you know, the 25%, that less 25% are people who are not going to be one that wanted to work with us anyway. So a decrease of 25%. But because we worked on the sales process and we put a bunch of different things, including more deselection opportunities, her conversion rate actually went up 100% to 50%. So therefore, she has an increase of 50% in her customer base. Now, depending, some people can and some people can't handle a 50% increase, fast increase in their customer base. We work through that too. But in this case, she was able to add on because her business was struggling. So now her business went from struggling to doing well. Not like over the top growing, crazy, but doing well enough anyway. And at least she could relax. The most things she was able to relax and start really focusing on growing the business. So a 50% increase in her customer base. Okay, so her number of transactions remained the same. She wasn't charging enough for what she was doing. So we were able to increase over the course, well, I mean, this was literally over 4 months. We actually increased her average dollar sale through a number of strategies, which we'll be going through, by 30%. So now you take 1,500 times 2, which is 3,000, times 130, and look at that. She had a 95% increase in her actual revenue. So here she did literally double her money, double her revenue, double her sales. She did actually double her sales here. Now, because of course, now think about it, right? You have a 50% increase in your customers that you have to service and service well. That added some pressure, you know, we had to add some more things in there to be able to handle the extra customers coming in. So there was actually a decrease in her profit margin. We decreased it from 25%, it went down to 20%. But hey, when you think about it, 20% of $400,000, or 20% of, you know, of a 100, you know, doubling your revenue there is still substantial. And she actually still wound up in just 4 months with a 56% increase in her profits. So it's my hope that you now understand why it's so important to be paying attention to your numbers and understanding what they do and how they can help you. Okay, so you see here I have some, so here we have our 5 ways, right? And the way the course is going to work is we're going to be doing baseline, and we're going to bring other things too, but we're going to be focusing in order of relevance to your business. So the first thing we're going to focus on is your profit margins, because quite frankly, what's the point of bringing in more business if you're not profitable? Number one, we're going to find out if you're profitable, and if you're not, or not very profitable, because you do have to pay yourself, and I come across a lot of people who don't do that. We will work through different ways so that you become actually profitable. That's the first area. And then the second area we're going to spend time on will be conversion rate, aka sales process. Putting different things into place so that you can actually deselect the people who are not really interested, so you can focus on those who really are. I mean, you really just want to serve, and you really want to help, and help those who are really interested. Then we're going to focus on our average dollar sale, because there's a lot of things that we're not thinking about, and then we're going to work on that and how we can incorporate that and boost your average dollar sale, just like we did with my client as a 30% increase. It was a number of different ways that we did that. Then number 4, we'll be focusing on number of transactions. They're buying from you. How are we going to get them to buy from you more often? And going through all different strategies that you can implement so that you can start having them buy from you, cross-selling, upselling, also, you know, getting some passive income going in your business as well. And then finally, number of leads, aka marketing. We don't really start going crazy with marketing until we have the rest of this together. Does that make sense? Because marketing is what takes the most time, energy, effort, and money, oftentimes. I will be going through a bunch of no-cost marketing strategies that you can use effectively and efficiently. So that will be a whole focus on a whole bunch of different strategies that you can use for that. But nonetheless, we don't get to that until the end, because I want to make sure you have the rest of the engine running before you kind of give it the gas. I feel like, you know, the profit margin and your sales process, though, those first 4 things are really the engine of your car, and then the marketing becomes the gas, right? You got to spend money and gas to put it in the car, right? Let's just make sure you're putting the right kind of gas in there, because we all know what happens when we don't put the right kind of gas in the car. Okay, so that is where we're going to be spending our time. So now back to my 5 steps for business transformation. Next, third is we deal with execution. Well, what does execution mean? First of all, you need to prepare. You need to make sure you have everything in order so you can start executing and getting everything together so you're not looking for things. Then, of course, you need an execution plan. You need the details. You need this, just aside from, we already have strategy, but this is where we need the plan on how we're going to execute it, with the target market we're going to hit, why we're doing it, the link, all those little nitty gritty that has to go in. And what we do is we start with one and we get that working out, and then we'll start adding on the others. So the next part we do is then we focus on the plan. Next steps, whatever we do, whatever strategy we implement, we need to know what is the next step. recently it's a new client that I'm working with, and it was interesting because he needed more. Most of my clients, they're struggling, and they really, when they first start with me anyway, and they're really looking for a new way. So they're so focused on just getting clients, getting customers, getting people in, paying them money, that they're not really thinking a lot of things through, and they're focusing what I call from lead to check. So we need to step back from that, and we need to understand it's kind of like baseball, getting back to the historical start on Sunday, but here in the US. It's kind of like a baseball game. Yeah, it's really nice to hit a home run, but if you look at home run hitters, if they're not hitting a home run, oftentimes what are they doing? Yes, that's right, they're striking out. Someone just chimed in there. Excellent. Yes, they're striking out. So like us, who's focused on that home run much of the time, we end up striking out, and that doesn't help. So instead of us thinking about the home run, let us just think about what we need to do to get onto first base. Now, we can get to first base any number of ways in baseball, right? You can hit it. You can hit the ball and get a base hit. The pitcher can throw balls, and you can get on because he didn't throw you good balls. You can sometimes get in if there's an error somewhere along the line. Or, God forbid, if you get hit, there's any number of ways you can get to first base. So let's focus on the ways we can just get to first base. And then from first base, then we can focus on getting to second base, and then third base. And then eventually, isn't it much easier to slide into home plate when you're ready at third base versus starting from home? And that's what we're talking about, the next step. So everything we do is like, this is what we're trying to accomplish with this step, which will lead to the next step, which will be fill in the blanks. We'll be going through a lot of that too over the course, that when we the class as we're going along too. See, there's a lot of stuff to do, and clearly you can't do it in just one little training here. An introduction. Oops, let's go. Okay, I did. Okay. So the plan. What is your target market? What is your objective? Just giving a little about this because everyone needs a plan. What is the purpose, the strategy, the time frame, and of course your next steps. And then how are we going to track our results? Very important. As you can see, I like to bring everything back to numbers. Even time is a number. Next, we have to assess what we're doing. Review. If you're making a phone call, you might want to tape your calls if you're using the phone, something like that. Do a SWOT analysis for, just review your results, what happened. Make sure you're reviewing, you have results to review because you're tracking them, right? Right, very good. And then do a little mini SWOT analysis. What's a SWOT analysis? In case you don't know, it's SWOT. S and W stand for strength and weaknesses. And these are the internal things that contributed to your results. So strength, S is strength, W is weakness. Basically, what did you do right, what did you do wrong? And it's on you. The O and the T are the external factors, the opportunities and threats, which really means, so what are the opportunities that came out of results of executing this plan? And what were the threats? So the threats meaning what got in the way? What got in the way of getting results? I mean, any number of things, technical issues, weather, wording, any number of things can get in the way. And so just do that and go through that and learn from that. So once you've done that, then you can brainstorm, either ditch it, tweak it, hone it, whatever you do. Oh, by the way, if your SWOT analysis comes out like, woohoo, you did great, keep on doing it, just like you are. There's nothing wrong with that. And then your next steps for what you're going to do after that. Finally, results. Now, you see, I'm focusing on good results and happy people and champagne and celebrating like that, but you will get results. With everything you do or don't do, you're going to get a result. You're going to get a good result or a bad result. In the case of bad results, you've done the assessment, you can go back and fix it and get on with it. Do not beat yourself up, although some of us will like to beat ourselves up for days. And if you get great results, which I anticipate if you're taking our class every week, as my clients do, then celebrate. How are you going to celebrate? Again, getting back to, it's easy for us to spend a lot of time beating ourselves up on what we did wrong. But we need to celebrate what we've done right, how far we've come, what we've learned, all the great things. Celebrate, celebrate, celebrate. So before we start anything, as I said, we're just finishing up and getting ready to execute our Q3 plans here with all my clients, every time we create a plan and a goal for the upcoming quarter, the first thing one of the first things we do is like, what is going to be your celebration? How are you going to celebrate? So that's very important to celebrate, and we don't do enough of it. Even little things, celebrate. I mean, gosh, I mean, if you're uncomfortable tracking your numbers, and all of a sudden you see you're embracing it, and you get that, and you start tracking your numbers on the first day you track them, celebrate. Woohoo! I did it. Just because it helps, because that builds momentum. So if you're celebrating the good thing and keeping that momentum, great. But if you're focusing on the beating yourself momentum, you're going to get that going, and it's going to be much more difficult. That also goes along with your mindset. So you have to have a celebratory mindset. Okay, and so that is the 5 steps. So what are some of the values? What are the learnings that you're taking away from here? Maybe numbers are not so bad. Still wrapping my head around doubling your numbers so easily. Well, it's simple. It is easy, but really it's simple more than easy. Anything else? Can't wait to get started with the class. Thank you. My head is spinning. Looking forward to getting it sorted out in the class. Great. Thank you. All right, great. So speaking of the class, how to get the most of them? The classes is really be here every week. Again, it's only 30 minutes. I'm only focusing on one thing, but make sure like today, the best way you get something from the class is how you can get the best out of this little introduction. One thing that you have now seen in your business that you can do that's going to be better. One thing that you can do from here. So that's another thing I like to do. What's one action step, just from what you've just gotten from today, one action step that you can take, that you're going to implement in your business? Figuring out my conversion rate. See what kind of sales process I have. Track my numbers. Don't track all of your numbers, just start tracking one number, okay? You don't, I mean, as when my clients are working with me, they're in a lot of overwhelm as it is, so little by little, step by step, because it's not my job to make you more overwhelmed than you already are. It's my job to get you out of overwhelm and into control. Okay, so these are the ways that you're going to get a lot from these classes. And of course, take notes. Come up with, if you can, I would get a book, or depending on how you're watching the classes and what kind of device you're watching the classes, have another place, if you're a typer. Honestly, if you could handwrite the things that you're getting and the learnings and what you're going to do, first of all, I would suggest downloading the blueprint, and you can contact me to get that. Download the blueprint. Actually, I'm going to put the blueprint available for download on the Facebook event. Download that. And then you can kind of have that with you as we go through, even though we're really focusing mostly on the numbers. You can use that, or get a book, someplace where you can put all your stuff together in one place. And the mind, the retention of what we're learning is much more integrated when you handwrite something. It's that brain, hand, pen thing to paper. So I would suggest doing that. Okay. And again, show up. And also, not only that, tell your friends. So needless to say, we're going to start July. We're starting with the baseline. And what is the baseline? The baseline is really kind of helping you get a hold of the things that you need to start figuring out and finding, so we can start tracking them. It usually takes, when I work with my clients, it takes a month. It really takes a month to do that. So we're going to do that step by step, one by one, getting the baseline. And from there, then we're going to start once we have a baseline, then we're going to start going through the different steps. Okay, why is this not working? Here we go. All right. Whoops. My goodness. See? Technology. It didn't do that. We're going to skip that. So again, what's next for you? If you got value from today, please go and register. Well, you can go to the Facebook page, or you can email me at leemunch@monarch-13.com. go and register. The Facebook page. Facebook page is the easiest place to do that, so that you'll get all the notifications and everything. I will not be doing, once we start going, this introduction, this is going to be on replay, and anybody can see this whenever they want. Once the classes start, the classes will not be on replay, so you're going to want to make sure you're there if you're so inclined. But this way you know. Again, and here's the Facebook event page. Most of you, I'm sure, are already there. You know about that. And again, please don't keep me a secret. If you got value from today, and this is just the introduction, and we're going to go in depth to every little nuance and thing that we're going to do over the next, several months, spread the word. Don't keep me a secret, and definitely, spread the word. Invite them to the Facebook page. Whatever you need to do, I greatly, greatly appreciate it. So now, before we go, I have some gifts. Again, I'm going to post the blueprint download on the Facebook event page, so you go ahead and download that. Enjoy. I also am offering 15-minute laser sessions. I will put the link to those laser sessions also on the Facebook page. Another thing, if you can also just go to the event page and put on the Facebook page what you got from this, I greatly appreciate that too. Up and coming, not yet, but I'll be offering a membership program for a very, very minimal amount. You'll get replays, you'll get all the templates, you'll get all the stuff. You'll also get access to my quarterly planning as well. So that's going to be up and coming, not right now. I just want to get this party started. And the other thing I'm doing is I am forming a Double Your Money 6-month group coaching program, which is literally going to take us through the 5 stages to transform your business. That starts on August 3rd, and you'll be learning more about that. So, and now it's time to fly. I thank you so much for coming and attending. I look forward to having you in the upcoming weeks as we get going. Again, share, put comments on the Facebook page, whatever, everything and anything's appreciated. And now it's time to fly. Thank you very much, and have a great day.